Hey guys, what's up? This is Artemy. I'm on the Basilisk Craig server. This is my alt. It's a 41 Archer. My main is Nigel Tufnell, and he's a 60 Lancer. So I'm kind of having some fun playing DPS here, just going around and soloing instances instead of doing a bunch of yellow quests to level. It's good XP. It's a good challenge, and you avoid all the queue times, and you get a good amount of loot. So um, this one, I'm going to show you how to do CR. Basically, the whole run takes about 40 to 50 minutes, depending, on how comfortable you are doing it. It gets faster as you do it a couple more times. Basically, CR, you go to Tulifan, and the best way to get there is just buy a scroll to get yourself there. So I'm going to go over and brief you kind of on my equipment, some of the supplies I have, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to do this instance here. So basically what I've done is I've purchased all the equipment from the instance already. It didn't cost me too much. For some reason on my server the archer stuff is pretty cheap. The leather stuff's kind of expensive. I went ahead and enchanted most everything up to +6, um, with the emphasis definitely on the weapon and the armor. Crystals I'm using, all vigorous for my armor ones to, because you don't have a healer, you're going to need to heal yourself. And then on the weapon I have some hunter crystals for the main mobs. Always have a swift crystal on since you're going to be kiting a lot. And I actually put a carving crystal on there too for this one, but that third crystal is kind of up to you. So go ahead and buy some charms from the store, especially the store. Buy some good ones. For defense I got enduring. For supplementary I got vigorous to help heal yourself. And that third one, you can get power, you can get whatever one you want. I can't exactly remember which one I got for this one. You also want to get some bandages for level. I got the two different types of elixirs. I got the best that my money could buy, just in case I get in any serious trouble. And then I got kind of a lesser one that I can use just in case I just want a little bit of health to bring myself back up to full. You want a campfire for sure, so you can use those charms. And then you also want to make sure you get 2 scrolls to port yourself to Cultist Revenge. I'll explain why you want 2 when the time comes, but just get 2 of them. So go ahead and use one of the scrolls. Takes you right to the entrance. When you get to the entrance, it's pretty easy to just talk to her and go ahead and get yourself in there. Glyph-wise, 2 I think must-haves: Radiant Arrow and Penetrating Arrow. You want to remove the speed restrictions. You also want to make sure you get Backstep on a lesser cooldown. That's pretty must-have. Same with the Breakaway Bolt. You want to make sure you have that on lesser cooldown, and then you want to glyph the Poison Arrow to last longer. So for this, now we have Feign Death, so we can just basically run by everything when the time comes. But first, before that, you got to open the door, which means you got to kill all these guys. These guys are pretty easy. I mean, you'll see kind of what I do. I use my arrow volley just to get a couple quick hits on there. Then I'll throw down an incendiary trap, and then I'll usually do a breakaway bolt to get a little bit of damage on them, and it also sets it up so that I can use my, I use my space bar for my skill linking, so I can just press the space bar and hold that down to charge penetrating arrow. I find it easier to move around that way. Alright, once you kill them, make sure you use that obelisk there, and that'll get you access to the east side. Unfortunately, my computer's not quite good enough to run the game at full speed for this instance, so I had to go and turn down my video settings there. Alright, you want to run by everyone as much as you can. You want, if you can, you get as far away from people as you can, but you'll notice there I got hit, and that screws it up because it really slows you down and it makes this part a lot harder. So, and you notice I got screwed up there. I got stuck when I tried to do a backstep through the golem. I'm basically screwed at this point. You can't really continue because what's going to happen, you're going to feign death, and then those arrow guys are going to shoot you, which is going to unfeign your death, and then everyone's going to still attack you. So what I did, I went into a corner away from the path that I'm trying to go to, and I went there and just died. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes when you're doing this stuff. I've done it before where I haven't died before, but sometimes it happens. No big deal. Just go to the cleric, heal yourself, get another scroll so you have a total of 2 again, and then get yourself back to the instance using the scroll. So alright, so you notice I'm back in there. The problem is my Feign Death's on cooldown, so I had to wait for that to go off cooldown. Let's try it again. So some of the guys reset their positions, some don't, and that's why you want to die off there in the corner, so that way they're not all waiting for you up here on this on this walkway, which has happened. If that happens, you have to reset. So you notice I was able to get through pretty quick. All the guys are over in the corner, so I run over here, feign death, and there's no one behind me. Pretty cool. If you're with a group, you'd have to clear all that stuff. So here you want to make sure you switch your crystals for the boss fight. Actually, when I run, I usually try and take off my crystals except for the swift ones. Just in case I die, I don't lose them, but I didn't that time. Charm up, and here's your first fight. So I put down a stun trap, then incinerate, just to get a couple quick hits on them. I use my scroll of carving as well, that way hopefully help me get some more critical hits on them. And your tactics for this guy, basically he's got a couple moves. One is that little mace smash. Pretty easy, you can see him trigger it, and what you do, it's completely directional, you just move to the side, so that's not too bad. You also want to keep poison arrows stacked as much as possible, and when you get a chance, go ahead and charge up radiant arrow and give him one of those too. You have the moving restriction removed now, so it makes it a lot easier to do that. He spawns minions, the same ones like you fought where that wraith was in the beginning. What you want to do with those is, just kite them around. You don't want to get too close to them. There's a lot of them because a lot of them will hit you for a lot of damage. So just cut them around, put down some incendiary traps, use a breakaway bolt, and then use a penetrating arrow to kind of line them up and finish them off. Once you get rid of them, go back to your poison arrow and radiant arrow. Regular attacks. You'll notice also what I do too is, sometimes when I feel comfortable, I'll get close to them and I'll give them a quick close quarters just to stun them. Then I'll throw down an incendiary trap, then breakaway bolt, and then radiant or poison arrow, then radiant arrow, and that's kind of my rotation. It does a pretty good amount of damage. It's also the same rotation I use when I play with groups too. The other movie does too. You've seen it now by now. Is this he kind of says, "Feel the wrath of my race," and mace, not my race, and lights up a circle on the ground there. You got to be out of that circle. You have a decent amount of time to do it. If you don't think you're going to make it, what you want to do is use your backstep or breakaway bolt if that's on cooldown to get out of there, because that really will hurt you. I think it'll stun and knock down you too, and then you can get in some trouble. So make sure you stay out of all the red circles in this instance. So yeah, he keeps spawning guys throughout the fight. I think it's on a timer. I don't think it's based on a percentage of damage, so you're just going to have to deal with them. The sooner you kill them, the better. As you're cutting those guys around, if you feel comfortable enough, you can keep your poison arrow stacked on him, so at least he's getting damage. It just depends on your skill level and your comfort level. I'm not able to do it permanently, but maybe some other people are. And yeah, there you see my rotation. He got close. I sidestepped his mace attack, gave him a close corners to stun him, and then put down my trap and got away. All right, make sure you use that obelisk there before you teleport out. What you want to do, this will get you past all those guys in the beginning again, back to the entrance. That's why you buy 2 scrolls. So now again, I take all my crystals off. I just put the swift crystal on just in case I get put into combat. That way at least I can run a little faster. And you just run by all these guys again. You go straight to the next bosses. This side is a lot easier to run by because people don't shoot arrows at you, which put you into combat and slow you down. So you can probably run by these guys pretty easy without getting hit at all. And you just want to follow the map, all the way to the lady over here. Make sure you give yourself a decent amount of separation when you do feign death, because if guys are stuck in animations where they're attacking, even though you feign death, they'll still attack you. And if they're close enough and hit you, you're going to pop back up, and then you're back in combat, and the whole process didn't work. So charm up, get your crystals on for this fight, and use a scrolls or whatever you want to do, buff yourself basically, and start the battle. I put down 2 traps right away because I know that's where she spawns, and that way I get a quick free stun plus a little incendiary trap hit as well. Alright, for this fight, she has some pretty basic moves. So at first I thought this battle was pretty easy, but the problem with this is her moves really hurt, and the animations are pretty fast too. So those circles she puts on the ground, you don't have much time when she jumps up in the air to move. And also, when you see that orange circle there, if you're outside the orange circle, you'll still get hit. So you got to be a little bit farther outside the orange circle. It's kind of a forgiving radius for her. So because of that, I don't really do anything fancy in this one. I basically just do poison arrow and radiant arrow when I really feel comfortable. But you want to avoid doing anything that's going to put you in a long animation cooldown, because if you get hit by some of those circular attacks, I mean, she can do 2 or 3 in a row really fast, and you're basically dead. at that point. So anytime you see her jump up in the air, if there's no circle on the ground, just move, because she's doing one of those ones where it keeps a circle on the ground that, if you go inside that circle, will take off health. If you see it on the ground, it's pretty easy. Just get out of that one. The other attack she does is that frontal attack right there. You saw that's pretty. You can sidestep it. You can't really be out of range of it. I've tried. I've been like 18 meters away from her, just far enough to where my arrow can hit her, and it still gets me. So you want to just kind of sidestep to the left. That's a good move to go ahead and get your poison arrow up, because she kind of has a little bit of an animation cooldown on that one. So you can go ahead and get your poison arrow up when she does that one. But you got to be real careful when you do that, because if you basically keep yourself, in a long animation thing, she's going to get a couple shots on you that are really going to hurt. So make sure you time your poison arrow shots carefully, and your radiant arrow for that matter. Other than that, she's not too bad. You saw I took her down pretty quick. I still got about 10 minutes left in my charms. So I just go ahead and run right to the next boss. I don't even need to rebuff or anything. So this guy looks pretty intimidating, but it's actually, in my opinion, the easiest boss of the instance. I know that's where it spawns, so I went and put down my traps again, just like the other ones. That's one move. She does the charge. That's one you got to get out of the way. I find the best way to do it is to sidestep it. The other one is she does that circle on the ground. Again, don't stand in the red circles, so get out of there. And yeah, see, I've dodged that one right there. But it's easy. You keep your poison arrow stacked, stay out of the red circles. You can do radiant arrow a lot on this one. And you notice that she flies right over me if I stand right in the middle. And that's her normal move. If she lowers herself and charges you, you have to dodge that one. But if she just kind of moves towards you, you can run right through the center of her. And it's a great way to charge up a radiant arrow. You can even put down an incendiary trap. You can do a lot of things for that. So this is the other one where she spins this debris around her. You got to stay about, I think it's like 13 to 15 meters away, so you don't get hit by it. But it's also another good time to restack your poison arrow, or get a radiant arrow hit in there, or whatever other moves you like to use. But yeah, see, she charges, I move. If she just walks right over top of me, I stay there, let her go over, charge up some attacks, get out of the red circles. Super easy. You can really do a lot of damage on her, because this isn't one where you have to move much, so you can actually use a lot of your attacks without having to just keep it too simple. So yeah, again, the charge, make sure you move, and there she's just kind of sitting there, so I just used a little bit of my rapid fire. But yeah, charge, I don't know how I found that out, but I think I got stuck one place somewhere, and she just went right over top of me. I was like, oh, okay, well, looks like I don't have to move then, which makes your fight a lot easier. So yeah, you can, the biggest thing I found in this fight is actually I run out of mana a lot, because of the fact that I'm actually able to do a lot of damage without, having to kite around. So kind of get your rotations down. My rotation is, poison arrow, then I charge up radiant arrow with the space bar, because I find that easier to move that way if I need to. Took that moving restriction off, so that makes it real easy. Then when she flies over me, I usually put a trap down, because she usually comes back and flies over you again. If she doesn't, no big deal. You would be able to hit her with other stuff, and then get your trap off cooldown, put it down again. You see she flew over me a couple times there. So, great chance to charge up everything. She's almost dead now. Just keep that poison arrow stacked, and there it goes. Oh, I leveled too, so sweet. Again, all the loot's for you, so that's pretty cool. And by the time you finish Tera, take your crystals off. Your feigned death should be off cooldown now, so you just go ahead and run all the way back again to the last boss. So again, I take my crystals off just in case I die. That way I don't lose any of the good ones that I bought. You could also use a armor fleetfoot one that would make you go faster out of combat. I didn't use that in this instance, but that's a good idea to use it. So again, feign death, everyone's off your tail now. Go ahead and recharm, rebuff, get ready for this guy, because this guy is actually pretty tough. So again, get your free traps in before the battle starts. And then for this guy, when he puts that red circle on the ground, make sure you get out of it, because it'll knock you down, and then you can really get stuck getting hit by a lot of damage for his other attacks. When he puts two hands on the ground like that and kneels, he's going to charge, so just sidestep it. Again, put your poison arrow on him. One thing to note about your poison arrow is when you shoot it, if you locked onto him, it'll hit him. It doesn't matter if, by the time the arrow gets there, if he's moved. It's where it's when you shoot it, would it have hit him or not? That's when it'll buff you. The other move he does a lot too is, he kind of twists his hips sideways, and that means he's going to teleport to you like that. What I do, I just run to the side, and then I try and use my close quarters to stun him. Then I put a trap down like that. Then I breakaway bolt. That's kind of my rotation there when he does it. If you don't get the stun, probably best idea is just get out of there. There, you saw I got it down pretty good. All right, this is the hardest part. When he summons his Argon guys, you want to run to this tower as quick as possible, because you're going to get like 5 or 6 red circles on the ground that are going to stun you. So you want to run behind that statue and basically just stay there. The statues can't hit you there, but he sometimes can. But usually by the time he gets there, the statues are dying and their attacks are done, so you can just run away from it. But you can also sit there if he's not able to make it behind there. Sometimes the pathfinding gets stuck and you get stuck into the side. You can actually sit there and you'll be out of combat, so you can recharge your stuff up. Here you notice I got low on HP, so what I actually did was I just kind of ran around, got out of combat, used a bandage, and then was able to heal myself a bit. So yeah, so that's pretty much all of his attacks now. I mean, you'll see me doing the rotations there again. I got kind of sloppy here. I wasn't able to get some stuns, and I didn't get away from him in time. I didn't get behind him as well. You want to make sure you're either to the side of him when he does those little frontal attacks. The other attack he does sometimes after the teleport is a sword slash, but it looks different. He doesn't put his hands down, so you'll know that on that one you definitely want to get out of there, because that'll hurt you. So one thing you'll see when this guy goes enraged, it gets pretty hard. For the slight bonus he gets in attack speed really screws you up. So you'll notice once he goes enraged that I actually just run around and just kite him, because I don't want to risk getting knocked down a bunch and dying on this guy. Here he goes. Okay, so you notice, and he did his Argon thing. So yeah, again, run behind that statue. Try and see where he is. Again, see, he made it through there that time. I ran out, but by that time the other clones were dying, so it wasn't too bad. But sometimes he can get back there, knock you down, you get stuck. It's kind of hard, so you gotta be careful. But you see how he's in range right here? I'm just running around, just waiting for him to not be in range, because like I said, it's tough when he's enraged. All those tactics I told you before, they don't seem to work anymore. It's just too fast. So again, all right, so poison arrow. He comes close, give him a little close quarter, stun him, trap, get away from him, get another poison arrow on there, radiant arrow. You can do a decent amount of damage. It depends on how much you got to run around and what moves he does. All right, he's starting to get low in health, so he's going to help me out by falling over for me and allowing me to get more hits on. There you see my rotation again. He teleports, I run around and give him that close quarters and trap. Alright, so he's getting pretty close. Make sure you stay out of those red circles. You have a decent amount of time to get out of them. What I like to do is dodge to the side, so that way I'm still in range to shoot at him. If you dodge backwards, you got to spend time to come close to him, because you're too far away for your arrows to hit him. Again, he summoned his clones again. So here I got kind of disoriented. He kind of knocked me down back there, but you just want to get out of there. And now he's stuck back there. So I kind of had to unstuck him there. And again, just poison arrow, get the stacks back up. He's enraged here. I decided to fight him while he's enraged. You can see I can't really make it out of his attacks in time. And that's why, usually I try not to fight him too much when he's enraged. But I'm getting close to the end now, probably getting a little impatient, so I decided to chance it. Okay, he's getting pretty close to the end now. I thought I had him here actually, but he decided to summon his guys again, and he knocked me down. You notice all those circles right there? That's what's going to get you. That's why you got to run back here real fast. As soon as he moves to that middle and he doesn't look like he's going to attack at all, that means he's doing that attack, so you got to get out of there. Anyway, that's it. He's done. That one's pretty hard, but when you finish, it's worth it. You get all the loot right there, and again, you get a good amount of XP doing this stuff. So instead of doing all those yellow quests or anything like that, go ahead and just solo the instance over and over again. You'll get great XP, you'll get good loots, and it's I don't know, it's challenging, it's fun, it's something different. So go ahead and reset it, and then you're out.